Hello friends, welcome to your 20-minute Pilates glute and abs practice. We're not going to need any props, just you and your body. Are you ready to start? Let's get into it. Alright, so what we're going to do to start is come and lay down onto our back. It's coming all the way down onto the mat. Now, we're just going to find our neutral spine, neutral pelvis here. So you've got your knees bent, and then if you just bring your hands into a little diamond shape and rest it over the pelvic area. And now from here, it's a very subtle movement. I'll just get you to start to rock your hips forward and backwards on the mat a few times, just so that you can find that midpoint here, which is your neutral spine, and that's where we want to stay for most of our class today. If you feel your lower back starting to switch on or hurts a little bit, what you can do is roll back into your imprint. So that's the part where you start to roll your lower back so it's pressing up against your mat. That's your imprint. So that's your option there. We just want to make sure that the lower back never starts to arch up off the mat at any point. So you've got your neutral spine, neutral pelvis. Let's come into that. And then drop the arms down beside you now. We're coming up into tabletop to start. So you're floating your feet up off the mat. So you've got your knees stacked over the hips and then ankles in line with the knees. And we're going to start with our little toe taps here to begin. So just simply tapping one toe down to the mat and then the other. Just warming up through the body, warming up through that core. You can probably already feel the core starting to switch on here. Let's go for another 10 here. So how are we doing? 6, for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now let's step it up a little bit here. So lengthen one leg now, come back to center. Lengthen the other leg out, come back to center. If this doesn't work for you at all, you're more than welcome to stay where you were with the little toe taps. They're starting to challenge ourselves a little bit more, Let's go for another few rounds here. For 5, last 4, last 3, 2, and 1. Beautiful work. Just draw the knees into the chest. Have a little rock and roll here from side to side. And then coming back to center, we'll rock forward and backwards here now. If you can get enough momentum, come up and over. And then we're going to come over onto hands and knees into our 4-point kneeling. So you've got your knees under your hips, hands just forward of the shoulders. So make sure your core is switched on here. So you've got your core engaged throughout the entire class today. Take an inhale here to prepare, and then as we exhale, let's stretch our right leg out behind us. Stabilize yourself here, and then when you're ready, let's start to tap and lift. Tap and lift. Let's go for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. Just warming up through the back of that right leg. Last 4, 3, 2 to go, 1. A little bit different now. So from here, let's start to draw that knee to nose, extend, curl, extend. Let's go for 10 here. 9. So activating the core here as well. So getting the abdominals working here, getting some beautiful heat and energy into that right leg. Let's go for 3. Last 2. Last 1. So right leg's extended. Let's bend the right knee now and flex the right foot. Same action here again. Take an inhale. We'll start to round knee to nose, and then exhale, driving that right foot up. So you want to feel like you're stamping the ceiling here. Let's go for 10, 9. So you want to feel like you're really lifting from that right glute. Let's go for 5, 4, 3, last 2. When we get to 1 at the top, let's do baby pulses for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Beautiful work. Gently release, coming back to center. And let's change sides. We're going to come over onto the left side now. Stabilize your core, stabilize your pelvis. Make sure that's all switched on and make sure you're still breathing here. Take an inhale to prepare and then exhale. Let's stretch the left leg out long behind us. So just be mindful of your hips and your pelvis here. If that left hip wants to start to kind of lift up to the sky too much, just roll it back down so your hips are squared off to the mat. Alrighty, let's get into it. Tap and lift here. So making sure that you can find a breath rhythm that feels good, that feels comfortable. Normally with our Pilates, we exhale on the exertion or the hard part of the exercise. Let's go for 3. Last 2. 1. From here, changing it up a little bit now. So rounding through the spine. Knee to nose, just getting the abdominals nice and warm here. Let's go for 5, 4, last 3, you're doing amazing, last 2, and 1. Changing it up a little bit now, so bending that left knee, flexing the right foot. Inhale, knee to nose, exhale, drive that left heel towards the sky. Inhaling and exhaling. Let's go for 10. So you should be starting to feel some heat, some energy in that left leg by now. Let's go for 5, 4 to go. Last 3, 2, and when we get to 1, baby pulses. Let's go for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Beautiful work. Gently release. Let's just have a little stretch. Coming into your little shell stretch here. Stretching the arms out forward. Just catching the breath. Just one more big, beautiful breath here together. And then inhale, gently release. Alrighty, so let's come over onto our side body now. So coming over onto your right side and all the way down onto the mat. So from here, you've got your knees bent. Now, 2 options with the top arm. So you can either have the right arm extended here, or you could bend that elbow and just cradle your head in your hands. See what feels more natural for you here. So you've got knees bent, one knee stacked on top of the other. You want to make sure that the top hip is stacked directly over the top of the bottom. So sometimes that top hip can either start to roll forward too much or backwards too much. We want to make sure that everything's nice and stable and switched on here. So engage your core. Very subtly just lift up through the right side body against the mat. And you can either have that left hand to the left hip, or you can have the fingertips grounded in front of you just for a little bit of extra support here. Now from here, glue the heels together. So coming into our little clam exercise here. Take an inhale to prepare, exhale to lift, inhale to lower. Let's go for 10, 9. So really getting into that left glute here now. So you'll start to feel that. Keeping really mindful here of the pelvis. Let's go for 4. Last 3, 2 to go, 1. Let's do a couple little baby pulses at the top. Let's go for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Beautiful. So keeping the clam shape with the legs, what we're going to do now is float the feet up off the mat. There we go. So bringing a little bit more instability. So that's going to make our core work a little bit harder. Just be mindful of the pelvis rocking and rolling too much here. Same here again. Take an inhale to prepare. Exhale, open that clam up. Inhale to lower. Exhale to lift. So let's keep going here for a few rounds. How's that left glute feeling? You should be feeling some heat in that area by now. Let's go for 5, 4. Last 3, 2 to go, 1. Now from here, keep the bottom leg as it is. Can you just extend that top leg and then bend, extend, bend, extend. Let's go for 10 here. 9, 8. Just make sure the pelvis isn't moving around here. 6 to go. Last 5, 4, 3 to go. Last 2. When we get to 1 at the top, can you hold for me? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Beautiful work. Gently, gently release. Tap out that left glute if you need to. How's the left glute feeling? All right, let's roll on over to our back. So a little intermission here. We're going to do a couple of little ab exercises. So remember right at the start, we found our neutral pelvis. So just find that position for you here again. Arms rest beside you. We're going to do a few little reverse curls here. So what that looks like is we start to float the feet up off the mat and then a little bunny hop. So you're just lifting your hips up off the mat. And we tap down and lift, tap and lift. Let's go for 10. 9. So you want to feel like you're really pulling from those lower abdominal organs. Let's go for 5. Last 4. 3 to go. Last 2. Last 1. Beautiful. Coming back to center, a little bit different now. Now from here, we'll start to float the feet up long. Float the feet out 45. And then float the feet out right in front of you. Let's do 10 of those as well. Bit of a theme going on here. Let's go. Keep going, making sure that you're breathing here. So sometimes, especially with our abdominal work, you might find that you can be holding your breath when we start to get a little bit fatigued, when we're concentrating. So just making sure that you're still breathing, staying present here while we're getting a beautiful workout done. Just a few more to go here. Let's just do one more round. And then hug your knees into the chest. Amazing work. Have a little rock and roll here from side to side. We'll do our clam series on the other side now. So you can just roll over to your left side. I'll just flip around so that you can see me and I can face you, face the camera. So coming down onto the left side body. So here again, you can either have that left arm long in front of you on the mat, or you could bend your elbow and just cradle your head in your hands. So knees are bent, core, pelvis nice and stable. You could have the right hand to the hip, or you could bring your fingertips out in front for a little bit of extra support. Glue the heels together. Take an inhale to prepare. Exhale, let's lift that knee and then lower. Inhaling, exhaling. Let's go for 10. 9. So giving that left glute a bit of break now. We're coming over to the right side. So really squeezing that glute when you get to the top. Let's go for 4. Last 3. 2. When we get to 1, baby pulses. Let's go for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Beautiful work. Now keeping the clam shape, let's just lift our feet up off the mats, coming into a floating clam. Just bringing that little bit of extra instability so that our core works a little bit harder. Take an inhale to prepare. Exhale, open the clam up. Inhale to lower. Exhale to lift. Let's keep going here. Breathing, keeping everything nice and switched on here, staying focused. Let's go for 4, 3, last 2, and 1. Now from here, keep the bottom leg where it is, stretching the top leg. Let's keep going here. How's the right glute traveling? Let's go for 5. Last 4. 3 to go. Last 2. When we get to 1, can we hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Beautiful. Gently release. Tap out that right glute if you need to. And then let's come over onto our back. So rolling all the way over onto your back. We'll finish with a couple of bridge exercises and a couple more abdominal exercises. So you've got your knees bent. You'll start to walk your feet backwards towards you. Arms can rest gently beside you here. And then just very subtly press the back of your head in towards your mat, just to keep the spine nice and long here. Take an inhale to prepare. Exhale, press through the soles of your feet. We'll start to lift the hips up. Inhale to lower. Exhale to lift. Let's go for 10 here. 9, 8. So when you're pressing through the feet, really drive up through those heels. And then when you get up to the top, give those glutes a little bit of an extra squeeze. Let's go for 3. 2 to go. Last 1. Let's do a couple little baby pulses here. Let's go for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4 to go. Last 3, 2, 1. Beautiful. Just slowly roll down. Have a very short little break here. Now we're coming into that series again with a little bit of an extra twist. So take an inhale to prepare again. Exhale, lifting, knees out wide. Inhale, squeeze everything back to center, and exhale, release. So press through the heels, knees come out wide, squeeze everything back to the center, and then gently lower. Let's keep going here. Your glutes are really starting to be feeling that by now. They're getting closer to the end. Let's just do a couple more rounds here. Really squeezing everything back to the center, squeezing those inner thighs. Let's do 3 more. Last 2. Last 1. And then let's come back up to the top of the bridge and baby pulses here. So knees wide, doesn't have to be a big movement at all. Let's go for 8, 7, 6, 5. Last 4, 3, 2, 1. Gently release and soften all the way down to the mat. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful work. All right, let's just finish with a few more abdominal exercises and then we're all done for today. So from here, let's come back up into tabletop. So that's where we started our class. Now from here, option 1 is to keep the legs kind of in this same position where we are now. And we'll just start to do this riding the bike movement. So this is option 1. You're more than welcome to stay here. Make sure you've either got your neutral spine or you've rolled back into your imprint. Option 2 is to stretch the legs out long. So they're coming out 45 degrees. And then you externally rotate your legs a little bit. So just rotate them out to the side and we're beating the heels. So 2 different options there. You take whatever level works for you here. They're both going to give you some beautiful abdominal work here. So if you're in this pose here where I am, and if it's a little bit too much, bring the legs up a little bit higher. If you need a little bit more, lower them. So the lower you go, the harder it is. Let's go for another 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Beautiful. Hug the knees into the chest. Have a little rock and roll here from side to side. And let's finish with a little bit of work and a little bit of stretch at the same time. So legs come up to tabletop. And then from here, we'll just start to drop the knees to one side. Arms are out beside you for support. and then drop them over to the other side. So it's kind of a nice stretch, but you can still also feel the entire core working here as we move along. If you wanted to, you could do this with the legs long, so stretching the legs, bending as you come back to center, stretching as you come over to the other side. Totally optional, just if you wanted a little bit more. Let's do once more to each side with your breath. And then just grab a hold of the back of your thighs, rock back on the spine, come on up, we'll finish here. So option 1 is to stay as I am here. So you're up on the sit bones. You want to make sure that your spine stays nice and long. So you could keep the hand to the back of the knees there. Option 2, float the arms wide. Let's hold for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Beautiful work. Gently release. Just bring the soles of the feet together, knees wide, flopping forward here. Just have a little breather, a little hip stretch. Let's hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Gently release, rolling on up through the spine.